Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, December 5th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, MSTY, and AMZY. I apologize for my voice. It's getting a little groggy because I may or may not be getting sick. We'll see what happens. Of course, it happens when I'm doing this juice cleanse, so I could be, even more miserable. But this is day 3. The final day of the juice cleanse. 6 more juices to go, and then tomorrow I can eat. And hopefully, I would have dropped 5 to 10 pounds, but I forgot to weigh in before anyway. But it's all about how you feel anyway. Who cares? Gives a damn about the scale. So, who had trades yesterday? NVDY had trades? Well, yeah, NVDY had trades. NVDY had a crap load of trades. Like, what is going on? Call credit spreads galore, right? I mean, I saw this. I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then I moved on. And then, of course, AMZY had a trade. AMZY, this is what I'm talking about. Now, you're a gentleman. This is a gentleman trade. But then I go to MSTY and I'm like, all right, what are you trying to do to me? NVDY and MSTY are just, they jumped me on the same day. So, again, I'm not going to get too down to the nitty gritty as far as like what the intraday trade shows because there's too much going on. And you guys don't want the video to be that long. But anyway, so let's get started. NVDY, long story short, for NVDY, they closed out their positions for 12/6, which expire this Friday. By the way, yesterday was Wednesday, so technically they had two plus days left, right? They had whatever was left yesterday, and then they had 2 full days. And for whatever reason, they said, let me close out these positions at a loss, even though there's 2 days left and NVIDIA could go back down. So, I'll show you what the end result was and you guys decide for yourself what you think. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's go to spreadsheet. What spreadsheet we on? All right, so there's NVIDIA. All right, here we go. So if you go to the top here, you'll notice there's no synthetic addition. So it was really just about the weeklies. So they do have a synthetic 148. They're actually only 1.93% away from that. So that's pretty good, 79 days away. And then the other position, the 138, if we go to the top, again, no trades. So both synthetics, again, both expire in 79 days. 138, they're 5.17% above it. So they could make money on that today if they needed to. All right, so let's go to the weeklies tab and see how NVIDIA did yesterday in the market. All right, scrolling down, NVIDIA, again, there's a lot of trades here, so a lot of lines. NVIDIA went up, big day for NVIDIA. It went up 3.48%. NVIDIA went up 1.56%. Because obviously, they were capped. Because, when you don't go too far out of the money, you get capped. So let's take a look. All right, so here are their trades. Again, all of their 12/6 trades were closed yesterday. So if you look, from top to bottom, these were 141 strike prices and 140, and they had a 142 in there as well. NVIDIA closed at 145, hence the loss. So anywhere you look at the sold call, the open price is less than the close price, which means they lost the trade. This was a losing trade. And then, of course, they didn't go up enough for the call credit spread to do anything. So they lost money on that trade as well, meaning it cost more to open to buy the call than it did to sell it back, right? So they lost on every single trade from last week. If I scroll to the right, you'll see loss, 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 loss. Yes, they lost a lot of money. How much did they lose? Well, if you look under the profit loss column, let's just say a lot of money. In fact, let's say about $27 million, because if you go to the top, sell N1, that's pretty much the number because we just opened the 4-week cycle. So yeah, we got our asses kicked. But my question to YieldMax and my question to you is, why? Why did they close it already? NVIDIA jumped up, sure. But maybe, we have 2 days. Maybe it'll go back down tomorrow. Maybe they'll get a better price tomorrow. Or I don't know. What do you think? Since there's 2 trading days left, why take the loss so soon, right? I mean, I don't know. Because even if it kept going up, they can always just use the synthetic and close out some of that and offset the damage. But they didn't even touch the synthetic. They just closed out the weekly, took the hit early, and moved on to next week. So again, my opinion on that is wait. Wait. Patience, my son. Patience. But they didn't. Anyway, let's move on. New trades. What do they got going on? I mean, they separate them out, and it's annoying. So they got various premiums for the same dumbass strike prices and freaking call credit spreads and this and that. They didn't scatter them. Again, they're not scattering them. Look how far out of the money they are. Idiots. I mean, oh my God. I can't with this. Anyway, so most of it's at a 148 strike price. They sold the call at 148. It's 1.97% out of the money. Yeah, we still have 2 days left in this week. Yes, we have 5 days next week. This is for 7 trading days. So, I mean, that looks like a losing trade. On the bottom, there's 48,572 contracts. They decided to go 149. Oh, wow. They scattered that one. $1. 2.66% out of the money. Yeah. Again, that the problem with opening the position so early, and I know the IV sucks, so they really can't go that far out of the money, especially if they do a call credit spread. But don't do a call credit spread then. Clearly, it's not worth it. I mean, at least, like I said, scatter the freaking spreads. Do some calls and do some credit call spreads. But they did all credit call spreads, and they barely scattered the strikes. But this is where we are for next week. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's hope for the best. If you look at the annualized, how much did they make on that? I mean, it's about right. 40% yield, 38. One's a little higher. One's 42. That's okay. But their IV is 33%. And it sucks. NVIDIA's IV sucks. It's not even worth trading anymore. Like I've been saying, I love NVIDIA. I've been saying they're the GOAT, but I don't like the IV anymore. It's not attractive to me, so I don't know what to do. I'll have to, go back to the drawing board, see what's up. All right, so what do we got here? No new outstanding shares. Nothing new there. Okay. All right, here's the recap. I'm sorry to tell you this recap. 30-day IV, 33%. That sucks. Outstanding share, 54.2 mil. Okay, that's fine. Total net income, it's a loss of 27.6 million. Wow. And if we go to daily income and we click that cell, you can see how many days in. Oh my God, we're 1 day in and we lost 27.6 million. Wow, we're on a roll here. All right, let's go to the reaction. I'll try to do it with my groggy voice. Le-hoo-hoo, sir. Yeah, big ass loser. But I don't even know. I don't want to say probably, but hopefully we do get a synthetic bailout at some time. The 4-week cycle just started, so let's try to be. I don't know. We guys, their next deck date is through the holidays, so let's hope for a Santa Claus rally. The synthetic makes so much money, we forget about this, and then we move on. All right, let's do that. All right, payment information. All right, so real quick on cycle 2. Again, I don't know if we call payment 2, cycle 2. I don't know what we're calling them. They made 148 million, right? 148 million. And they had to share it with however many shares were owned as of today, right? Whatever the share count was as of the close holdings yesterday, which I did, here it is, 54. Here, I'll show you here. You go to the holdings. Here's the holdings, right? 12/5, that's today, that's X date. But this is loaded on deck date. So this is the shares outstanding, the ones that own it before X dividend date. They kept it overnight to X dividend date. So this is the final number. What the hell just happened? All right. There you go. Like I'm frozen here. There you go. What is going on here, man? Whew. Don't need any of this to happen. There you go. So I'm going to lock in this number, 54.2 mil. So I'll clear it and I'll type it. 54.2. So that's locked in. That is the final number for payment cycle 2. That is how many people you need to share that income with, 148 million. So if you take that income, you divide it by the number of shares, that shows about $2.75 per share. Yesterday, they declared $1.18 per share, so there was a lot of reserve. I'm showing a NAV reserve of $1.56 per share. The total distribution that I'm showing, it's not 100% accurate, I'm sure it's not. The total distribution shows to be 64.2 million. So again, since they made 148 million. Wow, I had to second guess that. That's actual credit carry forward of a lot of money. That's 84 million. Yeah, because they didn't even pay half of what they made, at least what I'm showing. I guess I better start checking my formulas because this is now 2 cycles in a row where there's a lot of holdback on the NVDY payment, right? The first cycle they made $2.19, they paid $1.02. That was less than 50%. The second cycle they made $2.75, they paid $1.18. That was less than 50%. So again, I don't know. Maybe it's strategic because it's so early on in the fiscal year that they do want to do this. And if so, I think it's a good idea. I don't hold that against them because they're still yielding what they need to yield. So no need to go aggressive just because they made money on the synthetic, which again, the synthetic is just from the underlying. So they now have credits that they can offset against future damage on the weeklies if the synthetic doesn't help bail them out. So I kind of like this in a way. But now, again, if you look at the week 3, payment 3, cycle 3, whatever we're calling it, they already lost 27.6 mil. So they're down 51 cents per share. But again, they have so much credit carry forward that, they should be just fine technically if we just consider just this 1 year. All right. Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to bore people who don't care about that detail. Based on the IV is 34%. That would come to, the next payment would come to around 73 cents per share, right? So again, if you base it on the IV based on what they paid yesterday, yeah, they're still paying more than the IV. So I guess, you have to consider that as well. I don't have a payment for the Rotomator because they're losing money at the moment on the weeklies, and there's no synthetic, no synthetic help. So if we go to the holdings, so again, their synthetic expires next year, February 21st. We know that. Their synthetic's starting to look better though. It was getting close to Gold Digger, but the Gold Diggers are starting to leave, or they're asking for less money, so that's good. So the orange are catching up. One of the oranges caught up. The other one's working on it. Now, as far as the weeklies, again, they closed out the weeklies for this week. So this could be the last trade for NVDY for the week, unless they get new outstanding shares. So no need to talk about what's left there. The value of the fund, NVDY fund, is $1.3 billion. The NAV is $24.81. The closing trade price was $26.01. Okay, so if you take that price, this is the close, right? Yeah, NVDY price. Okay, yeah, it's the ASAP price, $26.01 minus $24.81. That shows to be $1.20. Okay, $1.20, close enough to $1.18. So there's your drop. Someone asked me in the comments yesterday, well, if we're getting paid, why does I don't know, people are still asking, why is the fund going down, right? So keep in mind, guys, throughout the 4-week cycle, we are earning profit. When we earn profit, where do you think that goes? That goes to the holdings. That goes into the holdings. It'll go to cash. The cash, we'll put it in the treasuries, and then that's how the NAV is going up throughout the month. So of course, on ex-dividend date, when they have to pay us, where do you think that money's coming from? They're going to liquidate what they need. They're going to put it into cash, and then the cash is going to pay us. Clearly, they didn't have enough cash to pay us, which is why they're in the negative 77 mil. But yeah, the fund has to go down for them to pay us, right? Because where else is the money coming from? They make money all, during the 4-week cycle. In most cases, they do. And then after that, they pay us that money. So that money goes in, that money comes out. That's kind of how it works. Hopefully that explained it. Anyway, synthetic bailout money, they're up to 25 mil. So that's actually not bad. That's pretty good, better than I thought. So we'll see how this plays out. All right, so that was NVDY. MSTY had a trade too. I guess I got to go back to the screen print, even though I'm not going to go through it. But, I mean, here's the moral of the story. Buy call, sell put, sell call, buy call. Okay, the top 4, great. The new outstanding shares were purchased. Awesome. And then the 8 below that, the 4 and the 4, they decided to close out some of their position for this week and then open a new position for next week. So they didn't close all their positions. They closed some of their positions. So that's okay. We'll see how that plays out. Okay, so here's the synthetic. It's 315, right? That's the strike price of the synthetic. They added 4,850 contracts. To be honest, that's a big number. So MSTY is just, no one's catching MSTY. It's going to be the biggest fund. It might double the other funds at this point. So how much did it cost to get into this synthetic? Well, it cost them a lot of money. It cost them about, 32 mil. Why? Well, look how much ahead they are of the strike. MSTR is at 406. The strike of this synthetic is 315. I mean, of course, it's going to cost them an arm and a leg to get into that. And I know some of you are still kind of confused on this. And I want to keep that in mind because I did a whiteboard video on YieldMax, and I'm sure it's so outdated because what I knew back then doesn't compare to what I know now. So I'm sure, I could give it a better run, and I will at some point, but I don't know, not anytime soon. But I'll do it. I'm keeping that in mind because I understand the synthetic can be very confusing. But either way, this synthetic in particular, it expires in 79 days. And they're doing good with it. They're 28% above the strike. So whenever they decide to close out this synthetic and open a new one, guess what? They're making money. Okay, let's move on to the weeklies. Hopefully my voice can make it through this whole video. I made a video last night on Group B, and it started to die out right away. I'm like, what the hell? But granted, it was a whole day of this, talking all day at work and this and that. All right, so let's go through this real quick. MSTR did go up 8.72%, so obviously a really good day. MSTY starting to get capped, but they did go up 6.73%. So, fairly decent upside. Not the worst. We've seen much worse. All right, so let's see what they did yesterday. Again, they got so many damn trades. It's out of control. Don't be surprised if early next year I'm dropping one of these funds and adding it to the CONY AMZY group. All right, let's see. So they closed the 475 strike, 1,500 contracts. They paid 52 cents per share. That was a win. Call credit spread wasn't needed, but they made 13 cents per share on that. And then the other position, 10,000 contracts. They paid 54 cents per share to close that one. Obviously, that was a freaking awesome win. And they made 10 cents on the call credit, on the buy call. So in the end, they lost on the buy calls, which made the call credit spread, but they won on the sold calls. So it was a net overall success. So obviously, yes, we will take it. This is good stuff. Now, they took those contracts, right? And they essentially moved them to here into next week. So here they are. First, we'll start with the 4850. As you know, these freaking slippers. 4,850 contracts were added. That's a lot. They chose a strike price on that for 400. Wait, what the hell? 400. I didn't even see this when I was entering it. 4850. It's in the money. 4850. 400. Wow, that's pathetic. All right. I guess they opened this early in the day, and then MSTR went up massively after. But I mean, how close to the money did they freaking go to begin with? Holy crap, this is awful. Yeah, 4,850 contracts, $400 strike price, 7 trading days, and they're 1.48% in the money. Wow, that was stupid. 1,500 contracts, 410 strike price, 0.99% out of the money. That's also stupid. 10,000 contracts, 420 strike price, 3.45% out of the money. This is embarrassing. Oh my God, these are terrible, terrible positions for next week. All right. I mean, are they trying to time the market? Are they trying to time and say MSTR is going down? It looks like it. I know MSTR went up 8% yesterday, but still. Did they do it on the freaking bottom? Like, how far down was MSTR when they opened those positions? Anyway, let's look at the new, not the new, let's look at the positions that expire tomorrow. This is what we got left for the week. We got 815 contracts, 445 strike, 9.61% out of the money. 10,000 contracts, 460 strike price, 13.3% out of the money. 835 contracts, 460 strike price, 13.3% out of the money. And last but not least, yeah, they got the 400 contracts lingering, 410 strike price. That's only 0.99% out of the money. So that one's definitely in danger. The others are technically in danger too, but not as much. So we'll see how the rest of the week plays out and if they can successfully win their trades. But yeah, if you're wondering how they're able to buy those 4,850 contracts, take a look at this. Outstanding shares went up by 5.3 million. That is, someone's got money. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe Michael Saylor bought some. Look at that. That is a massive purchase. Holy crap! I didn't even look at the assets under management after that, but I guess we'll look at that in the holdings. All right, 30-day IV, it's still above 100. I guess we'll be grateful for that. 30-day IV is 129%. Outstanding shares total 42,775,000. Total net income is a loss of 31 million on the weeklies. So we're slowly killing that number. Yeah, be careful with those moves. Obviously, they got the rest of the week. The trades are pretty close, but to be honest, when I made this emoji, I didn't even know how bad yesterday's trades were and how they're in the money already. So yeah, I would have gave them a much nastier image. So they're lucky, kind of. But yeah, that was whatever. Anyway, Group D declares on December 18th. All right, so here's payment 2, right? Cycle 2. They lost 60 mil synthetic. They lost 31 mil on the weeklies. That's a net loss of 91 million so far. So I got nothing good to report to you here. Again, based on the IV, next payment would be around 357. So time will tell. All right, so let's see. Oh my God, look at that, man. Wow, the fund is now $1.5 billion fund. Jeez, holy crap. YieldMax be rich, man. Holy crap. Can I invest in YieldMax? All right, what do we got going on here? We got synthetics chilling, 315. What's that worth? Yeah, that's worth a lot of money. We got a bunch of calls, synthetic, whatever spread, not synthetic, call credit spreads. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Too much information right now. Let's just look at the NAV. The NAV is 35.91, trade price 35.82, 9-cent gap. Synthetic bailout. Oh, that's definitely screwed up. So obviously the addition of clearly these formulas are not updated, but since it's not updated, I could show you what I add. I just take the synthetic call. The call is worth 515 million. So you take that and you add the put. Because again, when you roll the synthetic, when you close the synthetic, you sell the call, you buy to close the put. So that if you net the two together, oh my God, $345 million. That weekly number is probably not accurate either, but I don't really care about that. We'll fix that later. But wow, holy crap, this fund's huge. But MSTY Fund Manager, I'm not very happy with you. Anyway, let's move on to the TSLY 295 synthetic position. TSLY did not have trades, so they're just chilling. They got their synthetic. They're 21% above their synthetic strike, so that's good. Fine and dandy. This expires in 79 days, so who cares? All right, how did TSLY do yesterday? Tesla was green. Wow. They were red, and then they were green, then they were red, then they were green. But in the end, they were green. They went up 1.85%. TSLY went up 1.63%. At least per my sheet. I feel like they were red yesterday. All right, let's zoom in. Let's get everything in the same page here. All right, so they got open contracts for this week. Again, we got 2 days left in the week. This is what they got. They got everything at 360. All right, 360 is the number. All right, Tesla is at 357.93. Talk about cutting it close. So they are 0.58% out of the money. The call credit spread is showing to be useless again, and it kind of just ruined, how far we could have gone out of the money. For example, if they saved on that first line, row 93, if they saved that 189 per share, they didn't spend it on the buy call, they could have used that, they could have taken a lesser credit on the sold call and gone further out on strike price. Maybe 370, maybe 380, right? And then we would be sitting here much further out of the money with almost a chance to win the week. So if Tesla goes up this week, we're probably going to end up in the dead zone and lose every single trade, that was made. Let's hope that's not the case, but right now that's how it's looking. We'll see how it goes. What the hell? Wow, yeah, there's so many lines. Yeah, it's been a while since they actually did a freaking trade, except that gray one they closed. All right, so yesterday, no additional outstanding shares, so no whales buying Tesla. All right, 30-day IV for Tesla is 52%, outstanding shares 66.3 mil. Net income, no, it's a loss of 337,000. Reaction, yeah, that's not the way Tesla was supposed to go. That's not the proper direction Tesla was supposed to go. So we're kind of like we're in a tough spot. Group A declares again after Christmas on December 26th, 21 days away. All right, so as far as cycle 3, payment 3, they have synthetic income 3.2 mil, short call loss 337,000. That's a net income of 2.9 million, which would produce 4 cents per share. Obviously, that's not enough. But if you use the IV would give you a 66-cent payment. Probably also not enough, but that's, you never know. If they roll the synthetic, you're going to get over $1, I'm sure. But if they don't touch the synthetic before the next cycle is over, you're going to get the IV payment, I'm sure. If we look at the synthetic, it's massive, right? 190 million, those two net together. So we'll see how this plays out. But more importantly, let's focus on the weeklies. Let's win the week, and then we'll worry about the stupid synthetic. Total net assets of this fund, 991 mil. The NAV is 1494, trade price 1497, and that's pretty much it for TSLY. Sorry, I'm running out of energy. Stupid feeling. Let's go to here. All right, so here's AMZY. AMZY, at least I still have my voice, right? And let me take a sip of water. Okay, AMZY closed out their trades yesterday. It doesn't look good. BC buy to close. They closed it out. They paid $7.16 per share. All right, that's not pretty. They sold the call credit spread. They made $1.86, so that really didn't help much. So in the end, it was a loss. They lost money yesterday. They opened a new position for next week, and you could see the credit. This, $1.67. That's kind of around the credit. They probably opened the position that they closed above. So obviously, if they let's just say they made $1.80 credit last week, and they closed it for $7.16. Obviously, that's why it's a loss. So yeah, that's why I'm able to cover these this way. As long as you just keep in mind how kind of the fund works. So as we understand the fund more and more, covering the funds this way, it's not all that bad, actually. A lot of the details I go through, I think it is helpful when you're a beginner, but I don't think it's needed as much anymore, especially on 3 funds. But don't need to be a Debbie Downer. But I really, because covering the funds this way, I think I like it. But anyway, let's get to the spreadsheet. Can you guys let me know too? Do you guys like the way I cover AMZY and Amazon? Is it sufficient, or is it like you don't even listen on this part? You just because it's stupid. I don't know. Let me know. I feel like it's helpful because all you need to know is like, where do we stand for the week? Did we win our trades? That's it, right? Anyway, Amazon, since they lost their trades, yeah, Amazon went up, of course. If Amazon went down yesterday, obviously we'd be talking different. But Amazon went up that's a lot for Amazon to go up. They went up 2.16%. AMZY went up 1%. Why? Because they were freaking capped. And that's, they lost. We know they lost. This is good for their synthetic. Their synthetic sits at 210. Since Amazon's at 218, they're 3.74% above their synthetic. So here's the new trades for the next week. Again, they expire 12/13, so they could be done. AMZY fund manager could be checked out for the week. Because again, there's not much activity on AMZY, right? There's not new whales coming in every day like MSTY. So they're sitting now 10,280 contracts. They chose a 225 strike price for next week. That is 3.14% out of the money. Call credit spread, they chose a 235, $10 gap, 7.72% away from helping. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's go to the fund. The fund is not that big at all, 221 mil fund. The NAV is 1968, trade price 1973. But the important part is AMZY's getting closer to 20. Again, I always say their job is to hit 20, pay us again, hit 20, pay us again, hit 20. All right, moving on. The synthetic bailout is worth 10 mil. So that's good sign. That's a lot for them. 30-day IV is 23%. That's for Amazon's IV. Their IV estimate comes to 36 cents. They declare again in 13 days on December 18th. CONY's up. They didn't have a trade, but coin did go up. Coin had a massive day. They went up 6.52%. CONY went up 4.49%. So kind of capped right there. No trades, as we said. How's their synthetics? They have a 300 and a 320. Now they're above both of them. So right now they're worth money. They're 9% above the 300 and they're 3% above the 320. Good sign. Now what about the weeklies? Let's take a look at these. All right. Well, they all expire Friday. Crap. So these probably are in trouble. And we look here. Yes, they are. They are in deep doo-doo. All right. 9,615 contracts. 322.50 strike price. That is 2.55% in the money. Not good. 7,565 contracts. 325 strike price. 1.79% in the money. Not good either. 10,000 contracts, 327.50 strike price, 1.04% in the money. Yeah, you're not good either. Last but not least, 7,900 contracts, 330 strike price, 0.28% in the money. That's not good at all. All right, so now they have the call credit spreads. Here we go. All right, you guys, everything's in the money. You guys are up. Where are you? You got our back? Are you going to help us? Well, the 370, they didn't hit the 370 yet. Coin is at 330. So the lowest buy call is at 370. It's 11.8% away from helping. How much is it worth per share? 1.525, all right? Or 5.2 mil, right? So that's how much it would offset against, the losses they're paying out. But again, keep in mind, the losses wouldn't be as large because they'd be further out of the money without buying the call. I wish they would just, someone would do like a historical comparison. Like if they chose this far out of the money, how much would it have cost to close versus what they did on, the call credit spread. But obviously, yeah, the further it goes up, it's, I don't know, man. But since it's like in the dead zone, it's like a tough comparison. But they make their dead zone way too big. I mean, it's tough. It's, I could have it wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see a need all the time. All right, assets under management 1.1 bill. The NAV is 1810, trade price 1806. Now I'm starting to lose my voice. Synthetic bailout is worth 67 mil. 30-day IV is 77%. That would come to $1.07 per share. CONY declares next week, so I'll have to get that out this Sunday. Of course, I'll be away this weekend. It's going to be really hard to make videos, but I will do my best. All right, so that's it with all the funds. So we covered TSLY, we covered MSTY, NVDY, AMZY, CONY, whatever. We covered all of them, right? So now we could talk about the pre-market, right? The pre-market. This is my favorite part because it's easy. All right, so what do we do here? So we go to marketwatch.com and we pull up my watch list and we check the time. The time is 5:40 a.m. The market opens in a million hours, but we'll check it anyway. Tesla is up 0.24%. They're at 358.80. TSLY is down 0.2%. They're at 14.94. NVIDIA is down 0.32%. They're at 144.65. Remember NVIDIA? They closed them out early. If NVIDIA goes red today, oh man, I can't. All right, whatever. NVIDIA is down down 0.5%, 24.70. Coin is up 3.42%. It's at 342.26. CONY is up 1.88%. It's at 1840. MSTR is up a lot. It's up a lot. 6.05%. It's at 430.70. MSTY is up 4.47%. It's at 37.42. TSLY is up 0.52%. They're at 23.02. TNA is up 0.31%. They're at 55.23. AMZY is up 0.17%. They're at 11.98. AMZY doesn't look like it's updated, but it's showing down 0.1%. It's at 1971. Bitcoin, wow. I guess overnight, I didn't even see this. Overnight, Bitcoin went over 100K. They're up 3.68%. They are now at 102,000. Sky's the limit now. All right, BitX is up 7.67%. It's at 66.96. SOXL is down 0.62%. It's at 30.69. Super Microcomputer is down 0.45%. It's at 41.64. SMCY is not updated. They're at 34.73. Palantir, they're up 0.27%, 70.04. Plady is down 0.09%. They're at 65.97. TSM is up 0.06%. They're at 282. TSMY is not updated. They are at $19.89. So that's the update, guys. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again tomorrow. And hopefully my voice is better tomorrow. I will drink lots of tea. I will drink my juices because I have to. I'll drink coffee for sure. And maybe have some cough drops. And then hopefully my voice will be all good. All right. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. Yes, it does matter. It does go a long way. It helps the algorithms, right? It helps my small ass channel, which did hit 19,000 subs. Can't believe it. So 20,000, here we come, baby. So yeah, if you hit the like, it'll spread the word. 20,000 will be a possibility very soon. Outside of that, if you have any questions as far as what I cover, if I don't go in enough detail, if I go in too much detail, feel free to share that down below. Outside of that, that's all I got. Again, I'm running out of voice anyway, so let's end it here. If you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the keyword. All right, what's the keyword? I don't know. Again, I'm brain dead lately on keywords. I gotta come up with something. But let's have some fun. I know a lot of you are retired and some of you are not. So if you are retired, tell me the age that you retired, okay? If you are not retired, tell me the age you will retire, okay? I'm 42. I'm going to give my retirement age. I am hoping for 45. Again, I'm just throwing that out there. I keep saying 5 years every year, but hopefully when it's in 3 years, I mean, we'll see. I'm just going to say 45 years old. Is that a possibility? Maybe, but again, tell me your age. the age you hope to retire. If you are retired, what age were you lucky enough to retire? And if you don't know, why don't you know? Like, what are you hesitant about? What are you scared to commit an age on, right? So if you're young, if you're 20-something, I mean, if you're 21 and you're doing this, right, then you could say 30, right? 30, that's a great age to retire. Could you imagine? But if you're 65 and you're still working, what are you waiting for, right? Like, I want to hear it. Let's talk about retirement. What are we waiting for? What is the age you're going to retire? What age did you retire? And if you're hesitant, what's the problem? All right? Because it is scary. I know for me, like with a family of 4, I'm worried about healthcare. But I didn't price it out yet. I'm sure it won't be all that bad, but we shall see. All right, guys, I just want to say again, thank you for watching, even with my groggy ass voice. But I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Later.